This is Andy Purwell for Boxing News. I'm joined by Liam Beterbiev-Smith here in Liverpool. Liam, firstly, how are you? How are you adjusting back after Quebec?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, sleeping pattern's not the greatest, but I'm back home and back home with my family. That's the main thing.
It is indeed. Obviously, you was out there last week to support your brother Callum. Before we come on to that, a new journey in the Smith family name starts this weekend with Paul and Stephen starting their journey with Ste Clarke. What do you know about Ste Clarke? What should everybody expect from him tomorrow night?
Yeah, I know a lot about him. You know, I've sparred him a lot in the past. I sparred him, helping him when he was in the ABAs and stuff. I've helped him a lot, and I'll probably help him a lot at the start of his pro career as well. Just I went in. I was injured when he was doing his camp for this fight, so a good kid, ABA champion, won numerous national amateur titles, boxed for England, and I'm excited to see how far he can go with Paul and Stephen.
I mentioned this to your brother yesterday, to Paul that is, and he said that there's obviously always been like a fighting presence in Liverpool, and you're kind of looking for that next star to come through. Do you think Ste Clarke could be that next star to come through?
Hopefully, yeah, definitely. I think he can be. He's got all the credentials to be. He's got the attitude and the dedication to be. We've got a few good kids coming through now. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've also got little Frankie myself. It's good now. I think we're all coming to the ends. Me, Callum, Paul, Stephen have gone, Bellu's gone. The other scouts who were around when we were around are on the way out now. So we need new ones coming through, and you've got the likes of Ste Clarke, Frankie, the McGrail brothers. I'm going to leave someone out, so I'll just stop there. But we need the new crop to come through now and take over the mantle.
You said take over the mantle, and again, there's a conversation came up with my interview with Paul yesterday. He said he gets a little sad thinking about you, Callum, him and Swifty all kind of stepping away from pro boxing. When you think about it at this stage in your career, does it make you a little emotional or sad knowing that era's kind of coming to a close?
Yeah, of course it does, because obviously it's all we know, it's all we love at the moment. We have to find new loves in life and new goals in life going forward, but at the moment it's all we've been brought up in, and it's all we know, and it's all we love. So yeah, it's going to be very sad to come to an end and not do what you want to do, but I don't think any of us can ever complain. We've given our life to boxing, and we've got kind of the achievements worthy to show that. I think we've done well as a family, and so especially us four, we can walk away knowing we give our life to this sport.
Liam, just with yourself, obviously I know you're still looking to get back out there, looking for a date as soon as you can get one. What's the latest? Obviously you're in boxer territory again. Any conversations? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm still in the same position I was after Eubank. Basically, I'm a free agent, and I'll get myself back in fighting shape, and then I'll choose what way I'm going to go. Obviously, I've got a load of offers. I've got a load of people interested. It's just down to me to pick which move's the best for me, and when I'm in fight shape and I'm close to, when I'm a few weeks in, when I've got a little bit of weight off, I'll start manoeuvring what way I want to go.
So I was going to ask, 160, 154?
Yeah, no, 160 next time round, definitely. And then, once I broke the back of I've had a long layoff since Eubank, I had numerous injuries. I've let my body heal properly with no stress and no pressure. So I feel I'm healed now. I feel well. I feel, healthy. So after that, then 160. Once I break the back of the weight and do 160 next time round, I can go back to 154. I just take straight to 154 from now. It'd be too hard and too much pressure on my body again.
I do want to ask you, I know you've said on numerous occasions you'd love that trilogy fight with Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. Ben falling through. There were reports of Eubank Jr. Brook potentially going ahead, but that seems to have been quashed over the last couple of days. Are you surprised that maybe the trilogy fight hasn't come to the fore and hasn't been mentioned a little bit more?
Yeah, and no, I'm surprised people haven't pushed it, but I knew Chris wouldn't. Obviously, I knew he's not going to sing and shout about it, because I've said since day one he's going to take that win and run. Like I say, he knows he'll never beat me that easy again in his life, so why, rob a bank and go back there, basically.
Away from that, obviously, as I mentioned, we was out in Quebec last week. Your brother falling just short in his bout with Artur Beterbiev. Just your reflections firstly on the fight, please, Leo.
Yeah, obviously, a tough fight, a tough night for Callum. He just fell short. He come up against a beast, a very good fighter, who performed very well on that night in in a tiny ring in front of his home crowd. He just come up against everything on that night. No shame in losing. No shame in losing. You know, a fight for 3 world titles to Artur Beterbiev. I've seen reports the last few days that I'm bitter. If I'm bitter for my brother losing to Canelo Alvarez and Artur Beterbiev, then I should never ever be involved in sport.
Something which I was going to bring up, obviously I don't need you to necessarily go right into the depths of it all, but over social media in the last 24 hours, it certainly caused a bit of a storm. I've seen you have a couple back and forths with some people, and as you said, he's your brother, so I'd be surprised if he was more so not to take the stance you've taken. But what's been your thoughts on seeing kind of the people coming at you a little bit?
No, it just, look, I take it with a pinch of salt. Like I said, if you call me, the people on social media want to call me bitter for that, then so be it. Carry on calling me it. Like, social media is social media, mate. It's just people who don't like it. It gives them permission to slag you and not stand in front of you and slag you to your face and stuff like that. It just gives them away. I couldn't care less. Like I said, if I'm standing in front of me and have the conversation, I guarantee you think I've got a point. It's me brother, never mind teammate or friend. It's me brother, and what come out, and what I think of it. I stand on what I think of it, but you know, like I said, bitter should never come into it. Like I can't be bitter. My brother losing to Artur Beterbiev, a fighter who's won 3 world titles, 19 fights, 19 knockouts at world level. You know, you can't be bitter losing to people like that. If you're going to lose, they are the people you lose to. You don't lose to people who you should beat or people who are not as good as you. If you ever lose in boxing, they're the people you want to lose to. They're the people you can accept losing to. So, bitter should never come near it. Regarding the atypical drug testing, I've said my opinion on it. Like I said, and I stand on what I think. Testosterone levels shouldn't raise at 39 years of age. That's what I think.
Liam, just on Callum, how has he been doing since his return to Liverpool?
Yeah, he's okay. I think he's happy to be home with his girl and his son. He's got 2 young kids. Been away from them for a little bit. He had a quiet Christmas because he was in camp. I think he's just happy to, like I say, spend some family time with no pressure and no fight talk.
I know there's no fight talk and you can't speak on his behalf, but we've seen that deal agreed for a Frank Warren Eddie Hearn 5 vs 5 man fight to be announced later on this year. One fight which has been mentioned is Anthony versus Callum. If Callum is to come back, if he still has that desire to, is that the type of fight you think could entice him?
Yeah, I think it could, but also he might not be interested. I know his sole goal was to be world champion again, and he fell short last weekend. That's not for a world title, but it's not even close either. Maybe if it got put to him, look, the winner of Eubank Yarde gets a shot at the world title again, or a vacant belt, or then it might interest him. But his whole goal was to become a 2-weight world champion, and not really big fights. Look, that's going to be a big event, so to speak. You know, it's a first time Warren against Eddie. It's in Saudi, so it might entice him, you know what I mean? He might want to be a part of something special like that, maybe so, but that's a conversation that needs to be had to Callum. That's an offer that needs to go to Callum, not me.
Liam, just moving away from yourselves, or sticking with you to some degree, a former opponent of yours and a former opponent of Callum's face off next weekend, Munguia and Ryder. What's your thoughts on that fight?
I think it's a good fight, especially at this stage in both careers. Ryder's coming off the back of good performances. Canelo, Daniel Jacobs and stuff. Munguia, it's just, you know what I like Munguia, I know I've boxed him, but I just like the way he just no fucks given really, doesn't hold back, throws 1,000 punches. I think it's a good fight at both stages of career. Is Munguia really a 168? Be interesting to see. Ryder's tough enough. I just think if John can go with Munguia and throw more punches, we all know Ryder's solid enough, he's got a good enough chin. It'd be hard for Munguia to budge him, but Munguia can throw enough punches to maybe get to John. I just think if John can up his output a little bit more, he's got a massive chance.
Just a couple of fights to end on. Fury Usyk on the 17th. Who becomes the undisputed king of heavyweight division?
Fury, but I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk wins. He's that good.
Joshua Ngannou?
Joshua.
And then final one on that card, Parker versus Zhang. Your thoughts on that?
Good fight. Parker's obviously confidence-wise through the roof. You know, I hope Parker wins, but Zhang's on good form also, so it's a good fight. I'm interested in it.
Beef, it's good to catch up with you as always. Thank you for speaking to us.
Mate.